The Cowboys are the best team in football right now. And I think it's silly for us to say otherwise. And I promised a friend of mine I wasn't going to say it on TV, but I have to. Couple things why. Number one, I think that realistically, there are 3, maybe 4 offensive lines in the NFL that I think can at least go toe-to-toe with Dallas's defensive line. 1 is in Philadelphia, 2, Green Bay, 3, Detroit. I feel confident about those 3. San Francisco, maybe, but I think the right side of and maybe Atlanta. So I think those 3 offensive lines are the ones that I sit here confidently against that defensive line and say we got a shot versus them. The second, my second point is this. I think it's going to be really rare for them to be down this year. I just don't think that teams are going to be able to generate enough points to put this team in a situation where they have to play on the defensive end, both defensively and offensively. I think they can constantly be attacking on defense because of that. And then I think offensively, they can play in control. Offensively, they can play to a pace where they never have to drop back 45 times a game. Because I said this morning, I don't know if they're going to be down by more than 10 this year. Who do I honestly feel is going to be able to be as explosive enough against their defense? I don't think outside of those 3 teams I can bank on anybody. And watching the way that Dak is playing, I said this morning, the way that he's tied his eyes and his feet to the pass concept, it's the best he's looked since his rookie year. That's the truth. Mike McCarthy is constantly ahead right now because of the efficiency. They're healthy. Micah is the most dominant force in the NFL right now, him and maybe Tyreek, but the most dominant force, him and Patrick Shirley. So that's the best team in football right now. I know they haven't proven in playoff all that. That's the best team.
Damn, they didn't even have Brandon Cooks last week.
Right, didn't play. And Tyler Smith, their left guard, didn't play, I believe. So
is this showing you something also about Dak? Because he took a lot of criticism this offseason. We even said that his owner called him out, Jerry Jones, a few times. And, Stephen A., you had kind of alluded to the fact that, hey, it's strategic. And then look how he's shown up these first 2 weeks.
Nothing's getting proven to me. My concern with Dak was he going to be too cautious with the football coming off of last year. That's not the case so far for 2 weeks. I'm also not surprised by this. I don't think anybody is surprised by how good they look. We all pretty much believe that this is a good football team that's won back-to-back 12-win seasons. And the question is going to be when they get into the playoffs and it's that shrunk-down group and they have to play their 3 or 4 best game stretch, are they and Dak capable of doing it? If they do in the playoffs what they have done in the first 2 weeks, yes. They're the best team, Stephen A.
You know, last night I was got a lot of things.
Last night.
Got a lot of things going on, you know. And so, need to laugh. And so what I did was I turned on Dave Chappelle, old Dave Chappelle episode, when he was imitating Prince, and they were at the club, and they were dancing all that stuff, and then he sat down with Charlie Murphy and them, and he was like, "This bores me." And that's exactly what I was thinking as I was listening to y'all speak.
Wow.
This bores me. You know, I'm watching everybody talk about the Dallas Cowboy defense. Who hasn't known that the Dallas Cowboys defense is elite? Micah Parsons, I think, got a shot to be MVP. 3rd defensive MVP in history behind Alan Page in 1961.
Who hasn't known that?
Micah, exactly. We know this. We know what he brings to the table. We know what Stephon Gilmore has brought to the cornerback room with him and Trayvon Diggs. We know what DeMarcus Lawrence and these brothers bring to get to the pass. So we get all that. We know that they're elite. We also know that as the competition stiffens, particularly once the postseason arrives, it's gonna come down to Dak Prescott. We don't need to talk about nothing else.
You're gonna get yourself in trouble here.
We don't need to talk about anything.
You're gonna get yourself in trouble.
We don't need. Listen, all I can tell you is this.
Are you saying Dak Prescott is a scrub?
Listen to me. Dak Prescott wins games in September, October, November, and especially December, and then plummets in January. The numbers show it. Here's another point that I'd like you to consider, Dan Orlovsky.
Get himself in trouble.
So in 2020, do you know how many percentage of running plays the Dallas Cowboys ran?
Probably 38%.
38%. You're right on the money. You did your homework. Thank you very much. How about 2021?
40%.
41. You reading. You know you did your homework. I appreciate that. But you're 41%. You
Every
go 5%.
snap, Stephen
I mean,
A.
what about, no, you got 4 kids. You're lying. 2022, well, how many percent?
42%.
48%. You're way off. You didn't study last year's notes. This year, they're at 53%. What Mike McCarthy has done is say, yo,
Oh, this is just
we're going to prevent you. We're going to prevent you.
Stephen A.
Listen to me. Listen to me. What we going to do
I
is
told you
prevent
2 minutes ago you're going to get yourself in trouble.
Listen to me. Listen to me. We're going to prevent you from being asked to throw the damn football as much as you have in the past. We're going to even things that we're going to rest that defense. We're going to spell for that defense. We're going to make sure we got fresh legs on the defensive side of the ball. We're going to make sure that, right? We're going to run the football a little bit more. We're not going to put you in situations to lead the league in interceptions like you did last year, even though you missed 5 games. We're going to sit up there. We're going to offset all of that. And it's going to work. It's going to work in September. Hold on. It's going to work in September, October, November, December. It's going to work. We are measuring the Dallas Cowboys by Super Bowl appearance. By the way, let me take it a step further. How about NFC Championship game appearance? They ain't made one of those either since 1995. I'm just saying, y'all make me laugh. Stop. It's gonna come down to Dak Prescott. Stop acting like everybody don't know. Dallas gonna win 12 to 13 games. Dallas gonna be in the picture as one of the top 5 teams in the NFL. They're gonna have something to say about it. It doesn't negate the fact that it's gonna come down to Dak Prescott. Jared Jones agrees with me. He didn't get that brother his money yet. He ain't seen that contract yet. You understand what I'm saying? Y'all know. So I just want y'all to know. Listen, we know I keep receipts on this show. And Damien Woody, Big Sexy. Dan Orlovsky. Let me tell you something. Tape's rolling, baby. Tape's rolling. And I'm telling you right now, y'all keep talking. But ultimately, I don't want to hear anything about anybody else with the Cowboys but Dak. It comes down to him.
Marlon, can I ask you a question?
It comes down to him.
What was the question?
Comes down to him.
What was the question?
Cowboys seem to be in the
Cowboys?
NFC. No,
Sorry.
49ers.
So
49.
demonstrative.
What
49.
Why the 49ers?
Christian McCaffrey, that's why. Kyle Shanahan, that's why. Ayuk, that's why. Debo, that's why. George Kittle, that's why. The same team that bounced. Who sent the Dallas Cowboys home in the last 2 years? When the Dallas Cowboys went home. Who sent them home? Who sent them home?
You said they went home because of Dak Prescott, not because of San Francisco 49ers.
No, I'm just saying. I'm answering the question. I think the San Francisco 49ers are going to
But
be
you said
better.
because of Dak Prescott.
Yeah, they're going to expose them. Okay. Or the tomato. All right, do whatever you want to do. Now, I taught you better in the commercials. You should be learning from me. Stop fighting me on this. Learn from me, my brother.
No.
Learn from me.
No.
You know what I'm saying?
Hold
Big
on.
Sexy. I'm trying to tell you, man. This brother right here is not getting it. It's going to come down against the better competition to Dak Prescott.
Of course.
And he can't.
This
he
bores
can't-
me.
This bores me. That's all I got to say.
You don't. So hold on. I'm just. This is my thing.
Yes.
Last week
Yeah.
against. Can we agree one of the best defenses in the National
Top 3
Football League?
defense.
Top 3 defense in the league.
Yeah.
Without Brandon Cooks.
Right.
Yeah.
Without 2 starters on their offense.
Yes. Wildly
Total-
efficient.
Totally annihilated.
I can tell you why.
Totally,
I can tell you why.
Totally
I can tell you why.
annihilated.
I can tell you
Totally
why.
annihilated that defense.
Why?
Let me tell you something. Here's
Why?
where you can't argue. The second Zach Wilson was their starting quarterback, it demoralized even you. You didn't.
gosh,
You wasn't
Stephen
even
A.
interested in watching the Jets. You
Stephen
probably
A.
didn't watch that whole game either.
Stephen
did
A.
you?
Stephen
You
A.
knew what was going to happen. They knew. They walked in the Big D knowing they had no hope because that man wasn't going to be able to score a damn point for them. We all know. I mean, this is what happened. Y'all, the Jets and the Giants, y'all sitting up here acting like, oh my God, what a
me ask you a
tremendous
question.
accomplishment.
let me ask you a question.
Stop it.
Can Dak do anything?
Win.
Anything.
Win in January. How about that?
That's fair.
all I
No,
had.
it's fair. It's
Win in
fair.
January.
But the fact that he hasn't done it doesn't mean that right now, those two things are not connected. Right now, that's the best team in football. All right, let me ask you a question, Stephen A. So you said they ran the ball 53 times or something?
53%.
Because they've had blowout leads in both games. That's why. It's not because they've handed the ball off more.
No. I'm not saying that's the reason in terms of because of the first 2 games. I'm saying that's what Mike McCarthy walked into this season telling us because Kellen Moore departed and they said we want
Can I
to
ask
change
you
it.
a
Did he not
question?
say that?
Can I
Am I making
can I
that
ask you a
up?
question?
Am I making that up?
No.
And then we got to
Can I
get
ask
to
you
a
a
commercial
question?
break.
Do you think the Dolphins are better than the Cowboys?
No. But
I'm glad. Okay.
I do think
and
that
the Cowboys
offense
in
is
the
so
Super Bowl in
prolific
Vegas.
they can
That'd be
expose
awesome.
that defense.
I'd love to see both those teams in the
That would be
Super Bowl.
awesome.
I would love. You know what?
Dallas,
So would
Miami,
I.
and Vegas.
So would I, because the hopes would be so high. It would be so high.
I'll ask you this though, and
You
then
said,
we're going
like,
to break.
crash.
Excuse me.
Bah!
I need you to focus for
Bah!
a second.
Bah!